Hello there, Year 7 mathematicians, Mr. Herman here, and it's good to see you guys, even though it will be a digital platform. Now, I know I didn't see you guys in the last 2 weeks that you guys returned back to school. So firstly, apologies for that. I was quite unwell, and then obviously the holidays happened, and due to unforeseen, well, we kind of saw these circumstances coming, but we are going back to remote teaching again for the next 5 weeks. So I haven't seen you guys for quite a while, and this is the purpose of this video. I'm going to be talking about what's expected for term 3 during remote teaching for the first 5 weeks, and where to find the resources that you need for mathematics. Okay, so what I'll be doing is, let's have a look at my screen now. Okay, so the first thing we want to make sure is you want to know where the resources are in regards to what work we'll be doing. So we'll be again using essential assessment, what we did when we first went into remote teaching, but this time we've got a new topic, and I'll get to that in a second. You want to make sure that when you go into Compass, and I'll also be showing this in Teams as well, when you hit resources right here, there's going to be a folder that is called remote learning. When you click on this, you remember that your student labels for essential assessment can be found here, just in case you've forgotten your username and your password. But hopefully at this point, it should be already stored and saved onto your device. There's a new folder here, which is called Term 3. When you click on this, the next topic we'll be exploring in essential assessment is called patterns and algebra. And when you click on this folder here, you will see 5 weekly planners, okay? And this will show you the expected work and expected videos that you should be watching and attempting for that week. Okay, so you go ahead, click on it, download it, and you will open it up. And right here, this is the weekly planner for week 1. And you guys have to remember that within mathematics for year 7, we have 4 periods of maths per week, meaning that the weekly planner has 4 lessons, 4 different lesson breakdowns of what's expected for each lesson for that topic. Okay, on the side here you'll see learning goals and success criteria. This isn't anything new, especially for your other subjects, and it gives you a little snapshot of what's expected for the learning goals and the success criteria for that whole week. And if you can see here, each lesson for my one, I'm not too sure how your other classroom teachers have gone about this, but I just made it a bit easier to read that each lesson is highlighted in green. Okay, and this is the expected work. So lesson 1, starting on Wednesday, it will be period 1, I believe, from the timetable. We're going to have a meeting via Teams, okay, just to see how everybody is. Show you what's expected for maths, which is a kind of a recap of this video as well. And within that lesson, you also are going to be attempting the pre-test on the patterns and algebra unit. Okay. Then, as a little bit of a guide, it shows you what you should be watching and what you should be attempting skill-wise and video-wise per lesson. So after you've done your pre-test, lesson 2, which I believe is on the same day on that Wednesday, you'll be watching an instructional video of a certain skill. In this case, it will be number patterns with fractions and decimals. Now, obviously, I cannot provide that link on the weekly planner because I've yet to create the video. The videos will be made a few days prior to the actual lesson itself. Okay, so you've just got to make sure that you head onto Microsoft Teams so you can get that link for that video. Now again, if you've already subscribed to my YouTube channel, you would see that I will create a playlist, so just make sure that you keep up to date with that playlist as well. But Microsoft Teams is going to be your go-to when it comes to getting those links. And also you will notice that under each lesson, there will be a little question that says, will this lesson involve a meeting via Teams? And it's either going to answer yes or no. You'll notice that when you have a look at all the weekly planners for each week, there's only going to be one of them that's required a team meeting, and that's always going to be the first lesson, so the Wednesday morning. The other lessons, you don't necessarily need to have a team meeting, because you would just be watching the instructional video via YouTube. But in saying that, I will be there if you do need any help for any of the questions during your designated timetable lesson for mathematics. Okay, you guys got to remember that you guys will be doing remote learning, but I will be doing remote teaching at school. Okay, I won't be at home this time. I will be at school because I have to be here for my VC and VL classes, which they're required to be at school. So my time is again going to be quite limited, but during our designated timetable, I will be there to answer questions. Okay, so you will go ahead and read what's expected for that week, and then at the bottom where it says tasks and assessment, this is just going to be a recap of what's needed found within the lessons here. So within the first week, I'm required to see a pretest for patterns in algebra. I'm also required to see 2 skills completed, which is number patterns with fractions and decimals, and solving number sentences with multiplication and division. You go ahead, watch the instructional videos on YouTube via the link that I give on Microsoft Teams, then attempt that skill. Nothing necessarily new about this approach, because this is what we did in the previous approach to remote teaching in term 2. Okay. Another difference you probably will see though is that instead of attempting 3 to 4 skills per week, you're only required to do 2 skills per week. Okay, because we're only covering 1 unit or 1 topic within the 5 weeks. Okay, so make sure that when you're in Compass, you go ahead and check all the weekly planners, and also this can be found in Microsoft Teams when you go into our channel. It's over here. Usually the communication will be sent through posts. That's where I'll be sending the links. There's a tab here that's called Files. When you click on Files, again, there is a folder called Patterns and Algebra, and all the weekly planners are found here. I'm not too sure why they put them in this weird order. Just make sure you do week 1, week 2, week 3. I don't know why week 5 is there. And just as a little indication, if you didn't know, the 3 lines above the word or above the title just means that it's a relatively new file. Okay. So if you see something new or you haven't seen it before, it will have those 3 lines there. Okay, so with Essential Assessment, everybody should know how to log into essentialassessment.com.au, and hopefully you should be pretty well aware of how the program works. Here we have Billy Z. Thornton's Essential Assessment here. The Patterns in Algebra unit can be found in the strand of Number and Algebra. So when you click on this, you'll see Patterns and Algebra as one of the units that we need to look into. And when you click on this, again, you'll be given a pretest to complete and a post-test. In this case, the pretest has been completed. Once you complete your pretest, it is always good to review your questions, see where you went wrong, where you went right. And in this case, we're going to change things up. Usually I will bump your skill up if you get a pretest score over 80%. That rule has been scrapped for term 3. So even if you get 100% on your pretest and you know this content in and out, you will still be expected to approach the skills for this and each skill at that relevant level. Okay, so when saying that, if you do get 100% on your pretest, it's expected that you get 100% for every one of your skills. Okay, so take it as a challenge if you wish to. Okay, remember to find your numeracy skills, you click on My Numeracy here, and you'll notice that some of these skills are readily available for you to do and others won't be. You cannot do the ones over here without doing these ones first. And how my instructional videos will work will be based on going in the sequential order. Okay, so the very first skill that you will be working on is complete number patterns with fractions and decimals, which also says this in your weekly planner. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. There's nothing new or different about this approach. Just make sure that you are reading the weekly planners, and definitely make sure that you are asking questions if you do need help. Now, my time is going to be fairly limited because I am at school, so if I don't get to you straight away, you will know why. But in saying that, during designated timetable times, I will be available for you guys. And that concludes this instructional video. I will see you guys in the Microsoft Teams session Wednesday morning for period 1. Until then, have fun, enjoy the last bit of your holidays, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.